just sort of discovered, it was like an epiphany really, like, hey, I'm there, I can do it now.
What do your parents think? Are they...
They're supportive. I mean, it's sort of like the natural progression, I think.
Yeah, it's sort of in your blood. This is in your genes. You sail or cruiser.
Yeah, I'm sure my mom still sweats when I'm offshore or whatever.
Of course.
But yeah, I think they pretty much saw this coming.
When did you start to transition back into sailing and eventually cruising and living aboard?
So I got this job with Aishi and started working from home full time, and I'd broken up with a girl, and I've been living in Myrtle Beach, and was running a soccer league there for a while, and then it was fun. It was really fun. And I just went back, actually watched them play. Their league's still going, so it was.
That's fantastic.
I have strong connections with Myrtle Beach too. But so I finished there and sort of decided, hey, it's time for a fresh start, so to speak. And I wanted to live in a city again. And, so I went up to Providence, Rhode Island, and stayed there for about 2 years. And always in the back of my head, it was the boat thing. One day I gotta live on a boat. Can I afford it? Can I do it? And like I said, I did that trial run with my uncle. And then I also just sort of, in my day-to-day, was thinking about, hey, how can I make this completely remote? I just sort of discovered, it was like an epiphany really, like, hey, I'm there, I can do it now. You know, I'm sitting in a coffee shop. What's to say I can't sit in a coffee shop somewhere up the coast? You know, why can't I do it wherever I want to do it? And I realized, hey, it's time, I need to make this happen. I think I've been in Providence for a year, so the second year I spent up there, I was looking for a boat, I was you know, thinking, like, researching how I was going to do it, what I would need. Another really strong motivator for doing this is just living simply and having a very small footprint. So it took me a long time to get to the point where I'm completely off-grid. So buying solar panels, buying the, you know, configuring the setup for the charge controller and batteries, and building the dinghy so that I can anchor out. I can be I'm not relying on marinas. And that was sort of the goal, and it did take me a while to get here, but that was definitely a strong motivator to be self-sustained and not be consuming a lot, or, especially in terms of fossil fuels and energy.
Yeah. So how long have you had this boat?
I bought her last June, and it's October now?
Yeah. Okay, so not that long.
It's not quite October.
Did you have a boat before this?
I didn't.
No, this is your first living aboard on your own boat.
Exactly.
This is, wow.
You're
just at the very beginning of the adventure.
It feels that way a lot. I mean, I've finally gotten it to the point where I sort of am really comfortable with it and happy with sort of all my systems. Yep. I mean, there's always a million things I want to add, but in terms of, you know, general day-to-day functionality, she sails great now. She's, you know, got the power I need. She has an auto home. She's sort of a complete package now. But that it took all of a year probably. I think I've only been at this stage since sort of the year mark, really, to just get everything going, and you know, things cost money.
Yeah.
So, it's been a year and 2 months here, 3 months.
And you can single hand her, okay? Obviously.
Yeah, she's really easy to single hand.
Can you tell us about the boat? What kind of boat is it?
It's a Nonsuch 26. She's 26 feet long and has about the same water line as she does in, like, the Raw.
Wow, really?
Yeah. She's got a very flat transom and bow. Just gets straight down. So she's long for her length. and she's got a massive sail. I think it's 400 square feet or something. It does reef down, but the boom comes all the way back. You saw it as you came in.
Yep.
Goes all the way back to the stern, so it's just got a massive boom. But reefing's simple. It's especially single handing. It's let out the halyard, pull in the 2 reef lines. One I got to crank,
Yep.
and then pull up the halyard again, and I'm reefed. I don't need to go up. I don't need to go forward for anything except connecting the halyard to the mainsail,
Yep.
and maybe to take the sail ties off.
Yep.
But yeah, for the most part, she's super easy to single hand.
What does the hull look like underneath? Is it a full
She's
keel?
a fin keel.
She's a
fin
fin
keel,
keel,
spade
yeah.
rudder. Yeah, I think there are some limitations to her as sort of a blue water boat.
Yep.
I've taken her in some rough weather. She's done fine, but and she's a sturdy boat.
Yep.
Very well built, but the limitations on the design. She is a fin keel. She has this huge boom, which extends far off the side of the boat if I'm on a run or anything, and it can dip in the water if the waves are just
Really,
right.
the boom can dip in the water.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it doesn't take. I mean, since it's 25-foot boom or something, I think it's only a foot shorter than the boat. It's it's hanging well off the side of the boat when I'm on a broad reach or run or beam reach, and she if I've got some sort of rolling waves.
Yep.
That could sometimes kick the boom in, which is dangerous.
What is the advantage of the? Do you call that a wishbone boom?
Yeah, it's a wishbone. I think some of the advantages are in the sail shape because it doesn't have a flat foot.
Mhm.
The foot can bend a lot like a Genoa. I think that's one of the strong advantages of it. It does make it easy to reef. It comes with sort of a built-in cradle to catch the sail when you drop the sail.
What's the most important piece of gear on your boat?
Ooh, that is a good one. Headlamps?
Really? Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder. I have them tied everywhere. You'll
Headlamps.
see them when you go below. Yeah,
Yep.
Headlamps I have everywhere. I think they're really important. Aside from basic safety gear, obviously you want your harnesses, your foul weather gear, your throwables. But in terms of just day to day, headlamps are pretty awesome. Anytime you're looking somewhere, it's good to be hands-free, and it's when you're offshore, it's dark half the time.
Yeah.
A quarter of the time.
All that safety gear doesn't really help if you can't see it.
Yeah.
Funny when you have 2 people and they both have headlamps, you gotta watch out
Yeah,
that you're
you're
not like
blinding each
shining
other.
the light right into their face.
Constantly apologizing. Yeah, it's good to get one that goes red. All
Yep.
that stuff.
What does your solar panel power on this boat?
Mostly my instruments, laptop, auto helm. I have a Wi-Fi antenna that creates sort of a little wireless network on the boat.
Yep.
And powers that. VHF. But I don't have a lot of heavy duty. I don't have a radar. I don't have a fridge. So I'm not really powering much.
Yeah.
They're kind of overkill almost.
Yep.
I mean,
Wow.
they're 245 watt panels, and but it's nice to feel confident that I'm always going to have power.
Yeah.
Especially working.
Yeah.
I have several big Trojan T105 batteries.
Oh yeah.
They're 6-volt wired and in parallel to power the house stuff, and then I've got this cranking battery as well.
Yep.
Eventually I may get a fridge because I do have this extra power, so I might just put a cold plate in my icebox.
Yep. What do you eat? and what is it like not having refrigeration?
It's easier than I thought. I had this conversation with someone last night. I eat out a lot.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Oh.
Because I'm in towns, I'm traveling, and I have to go ashore a lot for Wi-Fi. So if I'm ashore, I'm not going to be cooking. So I do eat out a lot. It's something I'm trying to fix. because I think it is wrong that I do eat that much out. You know, I looked at my budget recently and was just like, oh my gosh.
Mostly eating out. Right?
Yeah, I do have a weakness for pizza, so at times I like to get out and have some pizza. I hear Silos has it tonight, so it should be good. I'm trying very hard to eat more on the boat, and I do eat a lot of preserved food, so canned soups, canned fruit. I love canned fruit for passages.
Yeah.
I just, it's easy.
Yep.
You're sitting there, it's quick sugar, quick something good.
Yep.
And then a lot of pasta, a lot of lentils, a lot of, what else do I have down there right now? Rice, tons of rice.
Are you vegetarian?
No, but there's not a lot of good preserved meats.
Yeah.
So, at least that I've found.
Do you, do you have a propane stove?
I do, yeah. Propane stove, and just the range, not an oven. I'd love to have an oven.
Oh yeah.
Bake some bread or something. But, yeah, right now it's just all preserved and non-refrigerated.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get, and I try to get fresh fruit and veg because that'll last, for a while whenever I'm around. But I certainly can't get any meat or anything that needs to be refrigerated.
Unless you cook it right away.
Yeah. I will do that. The other day I did that. I just went to the store, grabbed meat, and just cooked it right then.
Do you ever bring blocks of ice in?
I haven't yet.
Yeah.
And I probably could because I have the ice box.
Yep.
But I kind of fill the ice box
Yeah.
with food, so I don't always have a lot of room left for ice. This month I sort of made a very conscientious effort to not spend more than my allotted budget for food, and I'm actually slightly under, which is good. I track all my expenses online using mint.com. Cool little thing.
Oh yeah.
I guess.
What's that?
It's just a cool little financial tracking thing. You just plug it into your bank. You give it your bank access to your bank, and it reads every transaction and characterizes it. And I think that's been really helpful in terms of like saying, hey, yeah, this is where I'm putting money for the boat. This is where other things have been going. So I can really track my costs. And on a boat, I think that's really important because there's so many little costs that add up. You're like, oh, well, I need this little, doodad for the boat, and you get a couple doodads, and especially if you tell them it's for a boat, that's a couple $100.
Yeah, you see how it adds up.
Yeah.
So, do you have any words of advice to somebody who's just thinking about like following in your footsteps, living aboard, cruising, maybe working,
right,
as you are, or
number one would be do it. Like, do it right now.
Wow.
Don't hesitate. Like, it can be done, and it can be done in increments. I mean, if you want to start, find a harbor where you can keep the boat and work on it, and then work on the boat, fix it up, do small passages. Like, depending on your sailing experience, I think anybody can do it. Anybody can learn to sail. That's for sure. And the idea that that this is hard to attain right now is, I think, just not right. It's very easy to do, and there are tons of people out here doing it.
Yep.
And I guess you could do it with a regular job, work ashore, but the financing is the most difficult part.
Yep.
So if you can find a remote job, connectivity is not an issue. Maybe even find a job where you don't have to work the full year in an office.
Yep.
Maybe you can do a month away. Maybe if it's a seasonal type thing, and you can say, yeah, we don't need to have meetings every day.
Yep.
I think in general, just from a work perspective, when I was working just ashore, the idea that you have to go into the office every day is crazy to me. I mean, it's a waste of energy to get there, waste of time to get there. Most of the time, you're no more productive than you would be at your own office. Maybe less productive because people are coming in and knocking on your door. Or, you're spending an extra 20 minutes at the water cooler.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of productivity, but just getting started, I think, is more of a do it. It's easier than people would think. Once you get the boat, and you figure out how you're going to finance it to a certain extent.
Yep.
It's cheap. Well, it's still a boat, but some of your day-to-day stuff is cheap. Like, I mean, I'm not paying rent right now.
Yep.
I'm sitting here on Anchor. So.
In a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And the scenery changes.
Yeah. It's, I mean, ideally, you get on a boat because you want to move, though. So, maybe you spend your first year at the dock, but I've seen a lot of people who spend their first year or two at the dock and never make it out.
Yep.
You really gotta have a plan to leave.
Yep.
And make that step of moving. But it's definitely doable. No doubt about it.
Just go. Just
Just go.
do it.
Just go. Yeah.